What's going on? Okay, I'm back. There's no Grand Slam coming up. There's no tournament that I really want to talk about. What I do want to talk about, as I signed on to Yahoo today, I saw that Chris Chase, the infamous blogger, who really has nothing else better to blog about than the Williams sisters, but for a weird change of events, he actually started to blog about something else. Um, he blogged about Wilfred Tsonga, the young Frenchman. I think he's 18 in the world now. Who he stated some statements. He stated some statements. He made some statements at a press conference at the tournament that he's playing. I don't remember where, but he stated that Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer's domination over the tour era has come to an end. There's some truth in that, and then there's some not so true in that. The truth that I see in it is that, yeah, the domination of it just being like almost like you could go to the booking office and say Raphael and Rafa and I hate saying Raphael. Rafa and Roger are gonna meet in the finals, no doubt. You know how many sets they're gonna lose or how many sets it's gonna take to get there. That's another question. But they were almost a shoe-in. Little over 2 years ago, they were gonna play the finals everywhere. Um, that's kind of went down, and not so much on Rafa's part because last year he was in what's that? Three of the four Grand Slams he made the finals and he walked away a champion. Whereas Roger only made one Grand Slam final, and the other three he barely made the semis, but he made the quarters and semis. Um, which led me to, if you remember, I made a video asking the question, is Roger Federer in decline? And I said at the moment that the way he was playing, yes, he was, but I don't think I didn't say that he was. I just said that at the moment he was, but I didn't decree him in a decline. As I look at last year in comparison to this year, the year's still young. Um, he started off a little different than last year. He played the same tournaments, but it's a little different. Let's go back to last year. I made the video, Roger Federer in decline. I think a couple of people, I think got almost 300 views. No, 250 views or something like that. And 4 people disliked it. I have nothing against Roger. I feel like he's one of the all-time greats. He's done stuff for the sport that I don't think can ever be replicated, because he's done it in such a manner that it's just like, wow. That being said, I do feel like he's in a decline. I give him credit because he's healthy. He's out there playing at almost 30, or is he 30? I'm not sure. But he's out there playing. He's out there to play. I've seen Roger, he's out there to win it. He's just being outplayed. He doesn't have his grace isn't getting the guys. They're taking it to him now. So when you can see Roger Federer in the first round of a Grand Slam sweating in any of the early rounds of a Grand Slam, that's something big because back in the day, Roger wasn't sweating. He wasn't breaking anything. He was, barely sweating in the finals. uh, but do I believe he's in a decline? I have to say yes. Though last year he made 5 titles, the year before he only had 4. But the year before he had 2 Grand Slams. Last year he only had 1. But I was pulling up some stats from last year, and overall, for your average person, 62-13 is not bad. Even for a top player, 62-13 win-loss record is not bad. But when you look at the losses and where he lost, then you start to think, okay, what's going on? Tournaments like Estoril to Albert Montanes. Uh, he lost. What did he lose to? Somebody else. Tomas Berdych. Granted, Berdych has come into his own and he's playing some great tennis from last year into this year. Losing to him on the grass of Wimbledon, being pushed to 5 sets in the first round of Wimbledon to Colombian player Alejandro Falla, was something no one thought was going to happen. I mean, I started watching the match first set and I was just like, okay, this, he's going to move on. I come back home later and I'm like, he's in the 5th set. What's going on? But, so I made the video back when he was in Hal, right before Wimbledon, and I said, is he on decline? When he lost to Leighton Hewitt at this tournament, he's basically dominated. And I started to think to myself, I said, well, he won the Australian. He started off the year 10-1, as he did this year. Then he went through a stretch where he didn't make any noise. He got to Roland Garros as the defending champion last year, and he lost to Robin Soderlund in the quarterfinals, snapping his semifinal streak of, I can't give you the number, but he had a really big streak of at least reaching the last 4, if not better. And he lost in 4 sets there. Then he went to Wimbledon. He lost in the quarterfinals again. This time to Tomas Berdych in 4 sets. So he was on a little, Then he finally had a breakthrough in August, almost 7 months after his first title, where he beat Marty Fish in Canada. So, you thought, the momentum was going to be on his side. Then he gets to the US Open, he gets to the semis, and just 5 sets, everybody was banking on the Roger, US Open final. Rafa trying to go for 3 slams in a row. Roger trying to get another Grand Slam, trying to regain this dominance of the top 2 players, and he came up short, losing to 5 sets to Novak Djokovic. Then he started to pick up something. He started to become Roger of old in the October month. He won his 3rd title in Stockholm. He went to Basel. He got that title back. That was his 4th title. Then he won the World Tour Finals, and everybody thought, oh, Roger has shake the demons away. He's back. He's gonna come into this year and he's gonna do something great. Sorry that my phone went off. And then what happens? He opens up this year, great fashion. He wins Doha. Then he goes into the Australian Open, and he's going through, but he doesn't look, to me, he didn't look great. Then he got to the 3rd round, or I think it was the 3rd round, and Simone, the Frenchman, pushed him to 5 sets and could have easily lost that match to Gilles Simon. So it was interesting. But if you didn't know, he did not defend his Australian Open title. He lost to Djokovic in the semis, and Rafa got injured and didn't make it to the semis. Do I think Tsonga's comments were correct? Sure, there is a change of the guard happening, but I wouldn't count Rafa in decline. I would count Roger in decline. The dominance, yes, because they're not shoo-ins anymore. There's a challenge there. But if Rafa can be healthy, I think Rafa is a threat. He's your top. He's actually the world's best player right now. So to answer your question, is Roger in a decline? Yes, I do believe so. I think this video is going to end, so I thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. Alright? Peace. Well, I'm still waiting on my response video. Thank you.